Well, after 43 days, the longest shutdown, the government has finally reopened. 6 Democrats and 2 Republicans crossed the aisle in the House last night, but the bill, well, it passed at a vote of 222 to 209. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Let's get there. Let's get there. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share, because this stupidity needs to come to an end. Now, while it's great that the government's reopened, I do want to break down what the bill that was passed really looks like. Let me show you. First of all, it turns around and it says, in addition to extending last year's spending levels through the end of January for most of the government, the bill provides funding for some agencies through the end of next September, including payments for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. The program, which provides food aid to nearly 1 in 8 Americans. Let me say that again. Provides food aid to nearly 1 in 8 Americans, has been mired in a court battle because of the shutdown. The bill includes a measure to reverse layoffs the Trump administration imposed during the shutdown. It provides back pay for federal employees and institutes protections against further layoffs. But the central issue underlying the entire shutdown, extensions on Enhanced Affordable Care Act subsidies that expire at the end of the year. It's not addressed in the bill. Now, let me be clear. You're talking about more than 25 million Americans that are on the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, that have already seen premiums going up between 25% to 200%. And I'm certain that those of you watching right now are part of that. I myself received, not through the ACA, through my health care policy, I've seen already notification of a minimum of 25% increase, and it's already out of control. Now, Trump, he went ahead, he signed the bill last night in the Oval Office, and of course, took the opportunity, didn't waste a second blaming Democrats for the shutdown. Play the clip.
They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country. Also,
yes, I agree. Don't forget. Make sure come 2026, you remember who actually shut down the government. You know, it's a great line if, in fact, that 70% of Americans believe that Republicans are solely responsible for the government shutdown. 20% say it's both sides, and 7% blame Democrats alone. I do also want to remind you that 7% of all America still believe that Elvis is living. Now, Trump also promised that costs are way down. Play that clip.
The federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. Again, costs are way down. Energy is way down. Gasoline is at $2.50 a gallon versus $4.70 for the Democrats. And we think we're going to hit pretty close to $2 a gallon. That's like a really massive tax cut. It's the equivalent of that.
Yeah. Let me be very clear about something. First of all, there's no place in America where it's $2.50. It's $3.09, according to AAA. He goes on and he talks about the same things over and over and over, even though it is consistently rebuked by fact checkers. But yet, doesn't make a difference. What do? They continue to repeat the lie over and over and over again in hopes that the lie ultimately becomes the truth. He also started to ramble about insurance companies, and he announced that he wants Americans to buy their own health care and to negotiate the plans themselves. Wonderful. Play the clip.
You know, their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And you'll go out and you'll buy your own health insurance and you'll negotiate different plans and you'll get much better insurance and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself. So
whoever it is that's feeding him this level of stupidity, this inaccurate misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, should immediately be fired. Why? Because collectively, the insurance companies bargain. Individually, they don't care if they lose one person. Think about it from a business perspective. And Donald, for God's sakes, the big businessman that you are, you know that when you buy multiple items, you get a better price than if you're buying just one. Now, MAGA Mike Johnson, he also spoke with reporters last night after the House passed the bill. And he claimed as well that Republicans are the best to fix healthcare. Why? Well, because they have the most ideas. Yeah, sure. Trump's idea for Americans to choose their own healthcare. It's just brilliant, right? It makes absolute sense. Play the clip.
Who are you going to trust to fix healthcare? It's the Republican Party, because we have volumes of ideas on how to do this, on how to fix it, on how to drive costs down, and how to increase access to care and quality of care, and you're going to see all that vigorous debate. So
put out the policy. Don't give us this overall generic lie. Turn around and tell us how you're going to do it. Show us your brilliance. You know, I remember in school, I had a professor in law school that used to turn around and say, when you're doing a trial, if you can't dazzle them with your brilliance, baffle them with your bullshit. And that's exactly what MAGA Mike Johnson is trying to do. Ineffectively, but still trying. And MAGA Mike also said that Trump, he worked around the clock for you, the American people, to mitigate Americans' pain during this shutdown. Well, let me ask you this. What about refusing to fund SNAP? Or how about not agreeing to meet with the Democratic leaders? Doesn't that sort of contradict what you're saying? Play the clip.
And we'll be talking with the team. The president, as you know, has bent over backwards through this entire ordeal. In the longest shutdown in U.S. history, he worked around the clock every day to mitigate the pain, to reduce the pain as much as possible for the people. They found creative ways to get the troops paid, to keep women, infants, and children nutrition programs going, and all the rest. And so you'll see that same level of fervor. The entire cabinet, the entire administration is going to work around the clock to get the government open and operational again as quickly as possible. They'll do that as fast as we can, and of course, we'll give them every aid and assistance that we can out of the House and the Senate.
Wait, hold on. So he was working around the clock. That's, of course, in between his gala parties at Mar-a-Lago, his golf outings, or some of the other, meetings that he was hosting of foreign leaders in the White House. Sure. And we're supposed to notice another thing that they always say, as you know, this is the greatest, YouTube program in the history of the world, as you all know, right? What are you supposed to say? No, it's not. No, it is. Meanwhile, Johnson continued by saying it's also the most productive season for a new Congress. Play that clip.
We're going to deliver for the American people, as we have been doing. And I'll leave you with this thought. There's a split screen in America right now. There's a split screen. On one side of the screen, you have President Trump and the Republican majorities in the Congress and the Senate and the House doing the work for the American people. Look what we've achieved in the first 10 months of this year. You can make an argument that it's the most productive season for a new Congress and a new presidency, a new administration, at least in the modern era, maybe of all time.
Yeah, and let me also turn around and say this to you. It might be a split screen, but it's not split down the middle. If you really want to turn around and show the numbers, there's more than 60% of Americans think that our economy is going under Trump in the wrong direction. Now, by the way, he can fix that if he would tell his enablers to start telling him the truth. He also responded to the question of if he will guarantee a vote on the ACA, the Affordable Care Act subsidies, a very important issue in this bill, or was that promise to agree maybe one day down the road to have a vote onto it, possibly maybe, was merely just, I don't know, a lie? Play the clip.
And you're going to see all that vigorous debate. So the answer to your question is, am I going to guarantee a vote on ACA unreformed COVID-era subsidies that is just a boondoggle to insurance companies and robs the taxpayer? We got a lot of work to do on that. The Republicans would demand a lot of reforms before anything like that was ever possible, and we have to go through that deliberative process.
You know, here's the fortunate thing. MAGA Mike Johnson is actually disliked by so many, even in his own party, that now that Adelita Grijalva happens to be sworn in, she's now a member of Congress whose vote counts. All you need is one Republican to bring forth a motion to remove him, and maybe this time Hakeem Jeffries and the stupid Democrats that voted for Mike Johnson to be Speaker turn around and say, you know what? We made a mistake. Guy's not worthy even of being a member of Congress. Now, as we can see by the final vote of the bill, many Democrats are not happy with the bill's contents. And I do want to end on a clip of Representative McGovern explaining why this bill is and will continue to be bad for Americans. Play the clip.
What the hell is wrong with them? While regular people are struggling to pay bills, Donald Trump's net worth has gone up by $3 billion since he became president. People's health insurance premiums are doubling and tripling, but Republicans say there is no affordability crisis, even as their tariffs are costing people an extra $1,200 per year. Regular people can't afford the rent, and Republicans are letting Trump gild his bathroom and build a ballroom to host the rich and powerful elites who own the GOP. These guys are bailing out Argentina. They're giving $40 billion to an entirely different country rather than helping the 42 million Americans who can't afford to put food on the table. And here's the clincher, Mr. Speaker. Buried in this CR is a corrupt kickback for 8 Republican senators, a $1 million payday funded by taxpayers, taken straight from the Treasury and deposited directly into their pockets. What the hell is wrong with this place? They promised to put America first. The only thing you guys put first is yourselves. Yourselves and the rich and powerful people who pull your strings behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I have anything more that I could possibly add. He's right on every single front. And that's why I keep saying, join the community, help to grow the community, subscribe, watch, comment, and share. Why? Because stupidity that we're seeing needs to come to an end before our democracy does. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.